Welcome back to another episode of Bearcats Mean Business, the official podcast of the University of Cincinnati's Carl H. Lindner College of Business. My name is Grant Freaking, Manager of College Communications and Marketing at Lindner. On this episode, I'm joined by Audrey Allen, a rising second-year student majoring in marketing and business analytics, who is spending the summer as a co-op in Lindner's undergraduate advising office. Hi, Audrey. Thanks for being here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course. So let's jump right into what I'm sure is a hot topic among students, acquiring a co-op. How did you land your current position and what are your duties?
I landed my position as an undergraduate advising kind of assistant co-op for the front desk because I've always been interested in helping out prospective students and working with Lindner students who are coming in just to spread the word about how much stuff you can get done in Lindner and do, like study abroads to even co-ops and those kind of things. Definitely just wanted to let them know what they're coming for and advocate for Lindner. So I got it because I went to a career fair and I saw Brittany there, who is one of the undergraduate academic advisors, who I'm familiar with. So we kind of chatted and she gave a little overview of what I'll be doing. And yeah, so which the duties are going to be leading the Bearcat Bond orientation that all the incoming business freshmen will do. And so we do a fun activity and kind of show them what Lindner is going to be like and how to be a Lindner business student. And then I just help with any front desk needs, any of the advisors, any tasks to do. Yeah.
Cool. So what sort of prompted you to want this particular co-op, besides like obviously wanting to do an actual co-op? That it seems like you have a sort of a natural inclination to kind of help people, and maybe it stems back to like you did something similar like in this position like a year or so ago when you were an incoming freshman.
Yeah, definitely. I just like to give back. I love community service. I love working with students, and I just like to hear from other people. Just naturally, just like to talk to people and just see what their interests are and what can align with them. But definitely, I knew a lot about Lindner. A lot of in high school, a lot of older people I knew went to University of Cincinnati, so I would ask them like, "Oh, how's that going?" And my older brother went here, so definitely just something that's been around. Like, oh yeah, UC, and then just diving into all the things that they have offered.
Awesome. So what have you learned so far on your co-op, particularly the Bearcats Bound orientation, where I'm sure it involves a lot of preparation and has a little bit of a regimen to it in terms of presenting the material to some eager students and probably some even more eager parents?
Yeah, absolutely. So the parents are in a different section during mine, so it's just the students.
Oh, okay.
But with the presentation aspect, there's so much that goes behind the scenes with the advising and everything that goes on there. All the preparation that they do for these incoming students definitely was surprising to me because when I was coming in, I just kind of filled the task, showed up, did what they had me do, and then leave. But there's so much behind the scenes of them coordinating who's going to do what, all this like behind the scenes work. I was like, wow, there's so much going on that I had no idea. But definitely just learning all the systems. Even now, I'm learning about new things that there wasn't even offered that I didn't know about. Like for suits, I learned that there's like a Bearcat Buddies program where you can like rent out a suit or like clothes and stuff like that, which I had no idea about.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So that was something. I'm just keep learning about other programs that Lindner has to offer. Yeah.
Awesome. So we've talked a little bit about your how you help educate prospective students, and it wasn't too long ago, as I mentioned, that you were in their shoes. What do you remember about the experience of applying to college and going through that decision-making process, and why did you end up selecting Lindner and UC?
Yeah, absolutely. So my high school's not that far away from here. It's like 30 minutes. And so a lot of people I knew go to UC. So it kind of wasn't even on my radar. I was like, oh, everyone goes there. I'm not going to see people I know from high school every day. And it's just going to be like high school again. So I want to get out of the way. Don't go to UC or whatever. But then I applied to it. Just like, I might as well. See if I can get in or whatever. And I saw... I got in and I was reading more about it, and then they would send me like newsletters and those kind of things. I was like, oh wow, like it's actually like pretty cool. Look at all the programs. The study abroad really caught my eye because I'm a big fan of doing all those faculty ones. So I'm looking at them right now. I'm going to India in the fall.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so definitely just learning more about it that I had no idea. I knew of UC and because all like the previous people I knew went to UC. but I just never really thought of it as mine, like my school I would go to college. But definitely it stood out to me in their business program. Since I was going in marketing is like their number one major here. And I knew that their co-op program caught my eye. I was like, wait, I didn't even know that like that's a thing, and everything like that just kind of built up. I was like, okay, I'll go.
Yeah. Well, I'm number one, I'm glad you ended up here too. I'm glad our marketing materials are like holding some weight with our target audience too. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit more about the co-op and sort of why that stuck out to you, and maybe the opportunities it can present to students.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was always interested in internships in high school. I did one or two, but they were all like, like the summer, like high school ones. So they weren't like a super much like time consuming. And so definitely just thinking about like, I can work like an actual company in my first or like my years without even getting a degree yet, just working and experiencing those things and just seeing what other people are able to do, like all the P&G and internships that turn into a full-time and all those really cool things. I was like, well, that's interesting. But definitely the one I wanted for this one, the advising co-op, it's just nice it was from UC. I was just applying to ones that were all around, like, oh, like this one had one. And then I saw that UC had their own co-ops, which works out perfectly. It's like, oh, like this is where I know everything about it, and I feel confident, especially after my first year. I feel like I can't work in a field. I don't know what, I've just taken my intro classes. I don't know what I'm going to do. And so definitely hearing from like UC and how many, like they still have like so many co-ops available that they offer in the fall and the spring. And it just worked out since I was nearby. I can just drive over, commute, and then work here. So definitely those kind of things, yeah.
Awesome. Let's talk a little bit about that first year. Now, prospective students who might be listening will be interested to know in the adjustment from high school to college, which is significant. What was it like for you, and how did you develop a routine as a new college student?
So definitely in high school, I didn't have much homework. I had a lot of like study hall periods, so definitely kind of barely had any homework senior year. So I was kind of out of a groove of just like not doing that much work. So definitely coming to high school, I was like, okay, I gotta lock down. I gotta make sure I get all my assignments turned in on time and get a good GPA and everything. So I'm a very like organizational person. I have to make a to-do list. I have to cross things off. It makes me feel accomplished. So getting a planner and just Sundays, writing down every single thing I would have do that week, and then like allocate a day to do it. But like keep my loads like pretty light so I can still go to clubs and everything like that. Definitely helped like saying like what I need to get done and doing it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk about maybe breaking the stigma of sort of any intimidation you felt towards asking questions to perceived authority figures, whether it's your advisors, career coaches, faculty. Talk about your process for breaking through that.
Yeah, absolutely. I never really talked to my advisor in high school. I mean, I really had no need to go to her. And so definitely it was just, I could do it on my own. Like I was like, I got it, like that's fine. But then I came into processes where I would just be like, oh, how do I get around this? And it's like, who do I talk to? And then reaching out, it's kind of scary because it's like, are they going to judge me because I didn't know how to answer that question?
That's exactly what they're here for, is to help you.
Yeah. And so then just talking to them, especially now in my co-op, working with them like every single day, they really, really care about students and they want you to succeed. So there's really no fear reaching out, especially my career coach too. Just like, how do I do a job? Like, you're already working in a job. You're probably going to think like, oh, just do it the way I did it. Mm-hmm. But definitely hearing about the career coaches and the academic advisors and everyone who's here to support you, like you're not alone at all. And then your other like peers that you're with going through the same process. So connecting with other students and be like, oh, like, how did you get around this? And those kind of things. Along with the PACE leaders, since they're there, your first, like, learning community,
right.
They offer so much information that you might be intimidated to ask, like, a advisor or something like that. So they would definitely give you the support, like, oh, go out and do this, and they give you all that information, yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned PACE leader, and I was going to leave that towards the end, but we can bring it up now since you did. You're going to be a PACE leader in the fall. Tell me about, again, that process, and I guess you've almost sort of stated your inspiration, but I guess expand a little bit why that meant something that was important to you enough to apply and dedicate your own time beyond your studies and the other things you have going on to embark on.
Yeah, so my PACE leader this past year has been incredible. She offers a ton of advice to us, and it's just something like, wow, you can really look up to her. And all the ones seem so incredible, and everyone really enjoyed talking to them. And especially with like Lindner Ambassadors program, where we work with prospective Lindner students coming in, just that whole aspect of giving back to students what I had given. Gotten from my PACE leader. So just all that information, it's like I want to help someone else. I want them to feel comfortable coming up to me and asking a question that I also went through. And I want to give them all that advice to get out there, go to clubs, and those kind of things that I know I was definitely scared about and kind of meek about. Just, oh, I'm just a freshman showing up at this big campus. Well, what am I going to do? Definitely navigating all the resources and just even with classwork, just staying on top of it and don't let it fall behind. And I just wanted to give that little tidbits back from what I got.
Yeah, I think students who are going to any college, but I know from my personal experience here at Lindner, will be sort of stunned by how welcoming everyone's going to be, whether it's your fellow classmates, the upperclassmen, just older students in general. The staff here just kind of. And it's hard. It's easier said than done. Easy for me and you to say, right? But to kind of break through the initial barrier of like just asking for help, and you're like, wow, look at all these resources sort of available. You touched on advice. What advice do you have for those prospective students? Maybe some do's and don'ts about anything from the application process to, you mentioned getting involved, kind of whatever comes to mind about the college experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely get involved, but also manage your academics. Your GPA is a big thing, but it's okay if it's like you can always bring it back up. But definitely academics, there's so much you're learning in these classes that you're paying money for. So go to them, really learn, ask the professors, get close with the professors. There's a few like for marketing. Rick Sweeney, I know, I've had him, and amazing professor, definitely interesting to hear from. So just learning about, go to class, don't skip, show up and do your work and participate. Definitely you'll get a lot back. But also just club-wise, there's a few clubs I went to that I was just like, oh, I'll just go just to see if I like it, and end up loving it and staying there for the whole year. So definitely just go to clubs, get involved, and just have fun, but be safe with it. But
yeah, follow your interests, and eventually I think some students end up maybe signing up for too much, right? But that's a kind of a natural process of kind of becoming an adult and becoming a more seasoned college student, is figuring out your priorities, right? So I'm sure something you're learning as you kind of maybe graduate into more important roles, or sort of figure out exactly what you want.
Exactly.
So what are some of the lasting memories you take away from your first year experience? Because it can be a little bit of a regimented thing, but there's also a lot of freedom, I know, built into what you can take and what you can do inside and outside the classroom.
Yeah, absolutely. So outside the classroom, football games and basketball games, I mean, they're always so fun. The environment is always so lively, depending if we're winning or losing. But either way, it's definitely just fun to go and be a part and see the school spirit that they have, and the dance team and all the bands and all that stuff. Really fun outside the classroom activity to get involved in. But inside, all the projects that you get to do first year were really impacting, and something I really like to talk about. So for my project strategy, where we had to do a SWOT analysis, I got to work with the Cincinnati Reds, which was super fun to work with. So 2 people from their management team worked with us, and we got a tour of the stadium and all like the fancy booths I would never be in. Right. All these like elite, oh, here's this room that's for our exclusive club members. It was fun to be there and just work with them. So definitely those kind of projects where you get to work with an actual company your first semester is definitely something really interesting that I'll always be talking about.
Sure. And another part of those SWOT projects that you talk about is you're forced a little bit to collaborate with other students, right? So that's, forces you into a little bit of forced teamwork, but I think you kind of develop processes into like how a team works, and a little bit of how like you put together maybe a business plan and sort of organize your thoughts there. Is that something you experienced?
Yeah, absolutely. And just kind of seeing the different personality types people have, like from like all the cultures that you can interact with too, like the people from different backgrounds. It's so cool because I'm just stuck in like my own like little world, but then seeing that there's so much more that people have come from or what they're doing. So just like that whole collaborative environment, which also can transition into like a work and place environment. So just knowing how to work with people. It's one of the activities we do for our Bearcat Fund orientation, just working in a group. And It's very important, yeah.
So let's, before we wrap up, let's touch on those orientations again. What are some of like the common questions that are maybe posed to you or posed to the advisors that in the sessions you're sitting in from students and parents about Lindner or UC? What are some of like the common things you hear that are brought up? I think our listeners would be interested to hear that.
Yeah, so now since the universal co-op is now in place where you have to complete 2 full-time or 4 part-time or however you want to mix and match it, a lot of students are scared about co-ops and if they're going to get one. I reassure them that you have 4+ years to get a co-op and people really care about you to go and help you, the career coaches, and you'll have a whole class on career advice and strategies. So definitely questions about co-ops, how to land them, when can I get them. And so it's definitely, you have to do the work, you have to reach out, you have to put in effort to apply and everything. I think I applied to like 30.
Yeah, and you got to learn to deal with rejection.
Yes, that's a big thing. How to work an interview. So that's one of the big things. A lot of them are about like class sizes too, like how many people are in a class size, which is really important when you want that small knit community. But for the intro classes, since they're so big and there's so many people taking them, you have your LC that's in those classes too. So it makes it feel like a little bit smaller since you already know some people in it.
Right. You get the mix of small and large sort of feeling right there. Absolutely.
So I said there's going to be some small classes, there's going to be some big classes, but as you work up in the ranks, there'll be like 20-person classes or plus.
Well, that's all the time we have for today on this episode. My thanks to Audrey Allen for coming by Lindner's podcast studio today. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate, and review Bearcats Mean Business on Spotify so we can continue to bring you enjoyable content. Bearcats Mean Business is also available on Amazon Music, YouTube, and Audible. Thanks for tuning in. Go Bearcats!